I was 2 fingers away from texting my wife, "Happy anniversary, babe," when I tapped the wrong video in our shared iCloud account. It wasn't even titled suspiciously, just IMG_4583. But the second I opened it, my stomach knotted. The angle was tilted like someone had set their phone on a dresser in a rush. The room was familiar, our bedroom. My side of the bed. Her perfume bottle on the nightstand. Then she walked into frame. My wife. Jessica. Half naked. Giggling like a teenager, tossing her bra across the room like she was auditioning for some sleazy reality show. She turned and called someone off camera. That someone wasn't me. What followed next wasn't just betrayal. It was a goddamn demolition of my reality. She climbed into her bed, the same sheets I had slept on the night before, and started grinding on some dude I didn't recognize. Tall, tatted up, smug. He pulled her hair and she moaned like she was starring in a dirty movie. I don't know how long I stared at the screen before I realized I was holding my breath. My body was frozen, my chest tight. I blinked. Rewound. Played it again. I needed to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. But there it was, Jessica screaming some other guy's name while the wedding photo I framed with my own hands hung on the wall behind them. The frame I built, the vows we made, the fake promises she clearly never meant. Every thrust on that video felt like a knife twisting inside my ribs. I didn't even cry. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was the only thing left to do when your life spontaneously combusts on a Thursday morning while you're sipping coffee and planning a surprise dinner. I dropped my phone on the table like it was diseased. I stared at the floor. Reality started to morph. The smell of the bacon I was cooking became nauseating. The sunlight through the window felt intrusive. I could hear Jessica upstairs in the shower, probably washing off the scent of last night's betrayal. I didn't go upstairs. I didn't scream. I didn't even confront her. Not yet. I slid my phone into my pocket, grabbed my jacket, and walked out of the house without a word. I needed air. I needed distance. I needed to stop myself from doing something that would land me on the 6 o'clock news. That was the moment something inside me snapped. Not just broke, snapped. I wasn't the soft-hearted, hopeless romantic she married anymore. That man had just watched his wife mount another man in his own bed on his anniversary week. That man was gone. I drove aimlessly for 2 hours trying to decide what to do next. My thoughts bounced between rage and cold calculation. My wedding ring felt like a shackle burning on my finger. I yanked it off and chucked it into the river. Then I did what most would consider insane. I didn't confront her. I didn't demand answers or scream in her face. I called my lawyer. Ethan? It's Marcus Bennett. Yeah, I'm gonna need the prenup to do its thing. He was silent for a moment. Everything all right, Marcus? Jessica made a movie, I said coldly. A real blockbuster. And guess what? I'm not in it. The plan was simple. Divorce her. Ghost her. Burn the bridge with napalm and never look back. But first, I needed to play it smart. No accusations. No hints. Just cold detachment. I wanted her to feel secure, unaware that the bomb under her perfect little world was already ticking. And trust me, Jessica didn't make that hard. When I got home that night, she was all smiles and fake kisses. Hey baby, she cooed, wrapping her towel-covered body around me. Missed you today. You smell like cigars. You sneak one behind my back, huh? I stared into her eyes and forced a smile. Just needed some air. Her phone buzzed on the counter. She didn't flinch. I glanced at the name. Ty D. Jim? She didn't even bother hiding it. That was the moment I knew this wasn't some one-time lapse in judgment. She didn't slip. She dove in headfirst and belly-flopped into infidelity over and over. Jessica wasn't just a cheater. She was a pathological liar. A bitch in heels with a smile so fake it could melt plastic. And I was done pretending I didn't see the devil in her eyes. But I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to cry. No. I was going to let her think she won. Until the papers arrived. Until she opened the door and saw her entire life boxed and labeled, "Return to Sender." The next morning I made her breakfast. Yeah, you read that right. I made her scrambled eggs with chives, her favorite. Toasted sourdough, black coffee with a splash of almond milk, exactly how she liked it. She came downstairs in that silky robe she wore when she wanted to play innocent, all smiles and fake yawns. Ah, babe, you're spoiling me, she said, kissing me on the cheek like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't just starred in a freaking video that could ruin her life. My jaw clenched so hard it cracked. I smiled back. I fed her lies the same way she'd been feeding me for months. Just wanted to show my appreciation, I said smoothly, sliding the plate across the table. I sat down opposite her, coffee in hand, eyes steady. You work so hard, Jess. You deserve it. She beamed. That's why I love you, Marcus. You get me. I nearly choked on my coffee. I wanted to spit in her face. Instead, I leaned back and nodded, letting her dig herself deeper. I've been thinking we should do something big for our anniversary, I said, watching her reaction like a hawk. She blinked, surprised, then covered it with a quick grin. Oh? Like what? Maybe a little getaway. You and me. Just us. Somewhere private. She hesitated for half a second. Just a flicker, but I caught it. Her mind was already racing, probably trying to figure out how she'd sneak her side toy into the picture or how to cancel me without raising suspicion. I'd love that, she said quickly, overcompensating with an extra-wide smile. You always come up with the sweetest ideas. I nodded. I try. That day, I went to work like usual, but nothing was usual anymore. I wasn't thinking about deadlines or client calls. I was thinking about the fire I was about to start. I printed every screenshot from that cursed video. Pulled bank records. Took photos of the message threads she forgot to delete from her cloud backups. I had enough evidence to wreck her in court and destroy her little fantasy world in one clean sweep. I even started packing my stuff, not obviously. Just the essentials. One drawer at a time, slipping out with small boxes after work. She didn't notice a thing. Jessica was too busy playing house while balancing her gym boyfriend's circus act. That night, she went to take a long bath. She took her phone with her, as usual, thinking I wouldn't notice. But she forgot that her iPad synced up right there on the kitchen counter. I heard the ping. Curiosity didn't even have to work hard. The message lit up across the screen, bold as hell. Ty D, last night was. Can't wait for round 2. You wearin' that red thing again? Eyes. I stared at the message, then glanced toward the hallway where the water ran. I should have felt anger again, but I didn't. I felt cold. Dead. Like whatever I had for her had been carved out and replaced with stone. I took a photo of the message with my phone, added it to the growing graveyard of betrayal in my gallery. Then I deleted it from the iPad, wiped the notification, and sat back down like nothing happened. When she walked back into the room, towel on her head, cheeks flushed, she gave me that fake warmth again. Mind rubbing my shoulders? She asked, stretching like she was in some TV ad. I stood up, walked to her, and put my hands on her shoulders. I squeezed gently. She sighed. You're tense, I whispered. She tilted her head. Yeah. Long week. I leaned closer, lips near her ear. Don't worry, Jess. It's almost over. She smiled lazily. MMM. I like the sound of that. She had no idea. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, every lie she ever told echoing in my head. The girls' nights out that suddenly became untraceable. The weekends she volunteered late. The gym obsession. The sudden interest in lingerie I never saw her wear around me. I counted them like stars in a black sky, and by morning I had made a vow she would never see me coming. Jessica was a textbook narcissist. She thought she was untouchable, that I was too stupid or too weak to catch on. But that's the thing about betrayal, it either breaks you or hardens you. In my case, it did both. The next afternoon, the lawyer emailed me the draft of the divorce papers. I didn't even read them right away. I just stared at the subject line, finalize and serve. 2 days later, while she was out shopping, I finished packing. I left her closet untouched. She could rot in that house, alone, with her lies and her yoga mats and her damn red lingerie. I left a single envelope on the kitchen table. Inside it was a flash drive. With the video. And the message from Ty. And the screenshots. And a sticky note that said, Happy anniversary. You're free now. And then I ghosted her. No calls. No texts. No goodbyes. Gone. Just like the 3 days passed before I heard anything. I was staying in a short-term rental across town, a furnished apartment with white walls, a stiff bed, and no memories. It was perfect. Sterile. Emotionless. Unlike the mess I'd left behind. I had my phone turned off most of the time, only checking email through my laptop in case my lawyer needed to reach me. But curiosity got the better of me that afternoon and I turned it on. 19 missed calls. 12 voicemails. 24 texts. All from Jessica. Her messages started out confused. Marcus? What's going on? Then came the guilt games. This isn't funny. Where are you? If this is about the video, I can explain. It's not what you think. Then anger. You're a coward for walking out like this. At least be a man and say it to my face. And then desperation. Marcus, please? Just talk to me. We can fix this. I made a mistake, okay? It didn't mean anything. Didn't mean anything. That line pissed me off more than the video itself. She rode some random guy in our marital bed like it was her damn profession and I'm supposed to believe it meant nothing? That's the thing with women like her, they rewrite the story mid-chapter, thinking if they cry hard enough or twist the timeline just right, you'll forget what you saw. But I didn't forget. I couldn't. It was seared into my brain like a brand. I played the voicemail she left that morning. Her voice cracked like she'd been crying for hours. I didn't buy it for a second. Marcus, I got the envelope. I didn't know you knew. Please, we need to talk. Don't do this. I still love you. You're my husband. I closed my eyes, exhaled slowly. No, Jessica. I'm not your husband anymore. I'm your consequence. I didn't respond. Later that day, my lawyer texted me. She's been served. She tried calling our office. Don't worry, everything's moving forward. That was the first time I smiled in days. A real one. But it didn't stop there. Jessica wasn't one to accept defeat. The next night, she showed up at my brother's house. I wasn't there, obviously, but James texted me in a panic. Dude. Jessica just came banging on our door crying her eyes out. I didn't say where you were. She left after like 20 minutes but said she's not giving up. You okay? I texted him back one word. Perfect. She was unraveling. And I wasn't even close to done. 2 more days passed. I filed a change of address. Froze all joint accounts. Moved my savings into a new bank. Even changed my emergency contact. Ghosting wasn't just emotional anymore, it was legal, financial, total. Jessica tried calling from different numbers, even had one of her little friends, Amanda, message me. Same old script. She's heartbroken. She's sorry. Can't you just hear her out? No. She had all the time in the world, to be honest. She chose deceit. She chose Ty D, or whatever the hell his real name was. A meathead who couldn't string a sentence together but clearly had something she valued more than loyalty. A weekend I got an email from her. It was long, messy, written at some ungodly hour. She talked about how she felt lonely, how I'd been distant, how she never meant for it to go that far. Classic. She blamed me for her cheating. Said maybe if I'd been more affectionate, more emotionally present, more like the guy she first met, this wouldn't have happened. That one hit me. Not because she was right, but because I knew she would go there eventually. Deflect. Dodge. Rewrite. That was her whole game. In her world, she wasn't a lying, disrespectful scoundrel, she was just lost. I didn't reply. But I did open the last message she sent that same day. Just 4 words. You're killing me, Marcus. Good. Now she could feel just a taste of what she'd done to me. See, people like Jessica don't feel the weight of their betrayal until you stop giving them your pain. That's when it hits. That's when the spotlight turns, and for the first time, they're alone on stage with no one to lie to, no audience to charm. Just silence. That's where I left her. In that silence. Drowning in her own mess. And me? I was free. 2 weeks passed. I'd gotten into a rhythm. Wake up. Hit the gym. Make coffee. Work remotely. Stay off social media. No mutual friends. No curiosity. No looking back. But even in the quiet, she lingered. There were still little echoes of her everywhere, songs I skipped, restaurants I avoided, the way certain smells triggered memories I didn't want anymore. But I was learning. Healing, even in my own cold, calculated way. Until I got a call from an unknown number. I shouldn't have answered it, but part of me wanted to see how far she'd go. Marcus. Her voice hit me like a sucker punch. I didn't say anything. I know you're there. Please, just listen. Click. I ended it. A minute later, a voicemail buzzed in. I hesitated before pressing play, but curiosity always wins eventually. Marcus, I'm not going to lie anymore. I messed up. I know that. But I swear to God, Ty didn't mean anything to me. It was 1 time, okay, twice. 3 if you count the night you were in Houston. But that was it. I stopped the recording. 3 times. And that was only what she admitted to. If she was admitting 3, it was probably 6. Maybe 10. Who knows? With Jessica, the truth came in thin slices, carefully rationed, always too little and way too late. Later that night, my lawyer called. She's contesting. I laughed. Of course she is. She's claiming emotional distress. Says you abandoned her without explanation. I should have been furious, but I just shook my head and smiled. She got the explanation. She just didn't like it. He sighed. Look, we can fight this. You have the video, the texts, everything. But it's gonna get ugly. Let it. I was ready for war. That weekend, I ran into Amanda at the grocery store. Her eyes went wide like she saw a ghost. I didn't say anything, just kept walking. But she chased me down in the cereal aisle, grabbing my elbow. Marcus, wait. Please. I stared at her hand until she let go. She's a wreck, she said. She's not eating. She's barely sleeping. She cries every day. And? Amanda lowered her voice. She thought you'd come back by now. She didn't think you'd actually go through with this. She didn't think I'd have self-respect. Amanda swallowed hard. She knows she made a mistake. No. She made choices. Over and over. Her eyes dropped. I'm not defending what she did. I told her she was being stupid. But Marcus, she's scared. Good. Let her be. I left my cart there and walked out. 2 days later, Jessica herself showed up. At my apartment. I don't know how she found it. Maybe Amanda told her. Maybe she followed me. I don't care. All I know is I opened my door and there she was, makeup smudged, hair unwashed, eyes bloodshot. Marcus, she whispered. I didn't say a word. I just stared at her like she was a stranger. She stepped forward. Please, can we talk? Just 5 minutes. I stepped aside. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted to see what more lies looked like up close. She walked in slowly, looking around. You moved on fast, she said bitterly. I ignored the jab. Say what you came to say. She faced me, lips trembling. I messed up. I know that. I hurt you. I was stupid, selfish, disgusting. But I'm still your wife. Not for long. Tears welled up. I miss you. I miss us. Please, Marcus. I'll do anything. Therapy. Counseling. Open phone. You can track my location. I don't care. I just want another chance. I scoffed. You think this is about tracking apps? She shook her head. No. I know it's deeper than that. I can't sleep. I can't breathe without you. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I stared at her for a long moment, trying to find even 1 ounce of the woman I used to love. She wasn't there. All I saw was a desperate manipulator mourning her own comfort, not the love she'd destroyed. I leaned in, voice calm but sharp. You didn't just cheat, Jess. You performed it. With sound, visuals, and freaking angles. You let another man inside our home, our bed me. You turned me into a joke. She sobbed. I wasn't thinking. No, you were. Every single time. You just didn't care. She collapsed onto the couch, face in her hands. I didn't move. I'm begging you, she said through tears. Don't do this. Don't throw us away. I walked to the door and opened it. I didn't throw us away, I said. You set it on fire. I'm just watching it burn. She looked up at me, trembling. And for the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. Real fear. Not the fake tears or performance guilt. She finally realized I was gone. Not physically. Soul gone. She stood slowly, wiped her eyes, and walked out without another word. I shut the door behind her. And this time? I locked it. The silence after she left was the deepest I'd ever felt. Not just absence of noise silence. This was soul silence, the kind that settles in your bones. The kind you can hear echoing inside your chest. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I sat. Hands folded. Breathing steady. A strange calm washed over me, like my body finally understood it was safe. That the storm had passed, even if the wreckage was still scattered everywhere. Jessica hadn't just betrayed me. She'd humiliated me. Treated me like I was disposable, an old sweater in the back of her closet, something to pull out when convenient and toss when something newer, more exciting came along. But she didn't expect me to be the one who tossed her. That was the difference. That was my power. 2 days later, she tried one last time. Sent me a handwritten letter. No envelope. Just a folded piece of paper shoved into my mailbox like some high school love note. I opened it on the spot. It smelled like her perfume, which I always used to like. Now it made my stomach turn. Marcus, I know you won't answer my calls or messages. I don't blame you. But please read this. Really read it. I need you to understand. I was lonely. I felt unseen. You were always working, always tired, and I didn't know how to talk to you without starting a fight. Ty was a mistake. A horrible, stupid, filthy mistake. But it was never about him. It was about how I felt. About us. About everything falling apart and me not knowing how to fix it. You were always the strong one. The one who held it together. But I fell apart. And I did the worst thing I could. I don't expect forgiveness. But I hope one day you'll remember more than just this version of me. Please. Don't let this be the end of everything. Jessica. It was well written. Emotional. Vulnerable. Too bad it was all bulls ****. I'd seen her real face, twisting with laughter as she moaned into another man's neck. That wasn't the face of someone falling apart. That was someone indulging. Enjoying. Choosing. I didn't even finish reading. I folded the letter, walked to the dumpster behind the complex, and dropped it in. Right on top of a leaking bag of someone's old takeout. Poetic. After that, she went quiet. Radio silent. No calls. No texts. No guilt-laced voicemails. I guess she finally realized I meant it. Ghosted wasn't just a reaction. It was my new state of being. Meanwhile, my lawyer kept the machine turning. The divorce was progressing faster than expected. Apparently, the video was so clear and damning that her own lawyer advised her to take the loss gracefully. She didn't. But it didn't matter. I had the evidence. I had the leverage. And more than that, I had my peace. Friends started reaching out. Guys I hadn't heard from in years. Somehow, word had gotten around that Jessica and I split and everyone wanted to check in. Translation, everyone wanted the tea. I didn't give them much. Just a simple "it was time" and kept it moving. But my best friend, Sean, wouldn't let it slide. He came by one night with beers and that look in his eye, the one that said, "I know everything and I'm not pretending otherwise." "I saw the video, man," he said, not even pretending to ease into it. I raised an eyebrow. "You, what?" "It's on some cheating expose page. Like full-blown viral. Someone leaked it. It's been shared like 10,000 times." I froze. "You're serious?" "Yeah. The comments are brutal. Everyone's on your side. Some chick even called you King Marcus." I should have been mortified. Instead, I laughed. Loud and real. "She always cared about what people thought of her," I said. "That's gonna kill her." Sean grinned. Guess karma hit with a steel bat. We clinked bottles and for the first time in a long time I felt human again. Later that night, I opened my laptop, searched the page, and found it. There she was, Jessica, sprawled out in our bed, whining Ty's name like a cheap actress. The comments were vicious. "She belongs to the streets. How do you cheat on a man who pays your bills and sleeps next to you every night? This is why men are emotionally unavailable. King Marcus, if you're reading this, we stan." I didn't save it. I didn't need to. The internet never forgets. What mattered was this: the world saw her for what she really was. Not the sweet suburban wife. Not the charming coworker. Not the social media darling with motivational quotes and iced coffee pics. She was a fraud. And now she was exposed. I shut the laptop, leaned back, and took a long sip of beer. No more begging voicemails. No more handwritten apologies. No more cheap perfume letters. Just silence. And me? Still standing. The silence didn't last forever. A week later, she tried again, this time through a mutual friend, Ashley. The kind who always had her nose in other people's business. I wasn't surprised when she accidentally ran into me at the grocery store. "Marcus," she said with exaggerated sympathy, tilting her head like she was posing for a drama series. "Oh my God, you look so good. I can't even imagine how hard this has been." I stared at her cart, frozen dinners, 2 bottles of cheap wine, and almond milk. Everything about her screamed messy. "What do you want, Ashley?" Her fake concern cracked, just for a second. She gave a little huff and leaned in closer. She's really not doing well. She misses you." "Yeah?" I replied, stone-faced. "She missed Ty too?" Ashley blinked. The words hit like a slap, and I didn't care. She tried to recover, acting like I was the one being unreasonable. "Look, Marcus. She knows she messed up, okay? But what you did? Posting the video, you destroyed her." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh, you think I posted it? Please." She destroyed herself. All I did was watch the video she left in my own home. She was quiet for a moment. "You're really not going to talk to her?" "No. She said you were cold." She at another man in my bed. Ashley nodded slowly, swallowing her next excuse. Then she just shrugged. "Well, if you change your mind." "I won't." She walked off. And I realized something. Jessica didn't want me back. She wanted to control the story. She couldn't stand that people knew her real face, that the mask had slipped and shattered into pieces. She wasn't trying to fix anything between us. She was trying to repair her reputation. I went home, locked the door, and played music so loud the walls vibrated. Something about reclaiming my space, my volume, my noise. That night, I looked through old pictures, vacations, birthdays, random days on the couch with the dog. Her smile looked different now. Like I could see the manipulation in it, the subtle deceit behind the charm. How many of those moments had already been poisoned? How many times had she lied to my face, kissed me while thinking of someone else? The weight of it all came down on me then. Not anger, not even sadness. Grief. I grieved the woman I thought I married. The life I thought we were building. Because she was gone. And maybe she never existed to begin with. You don't just lose a person. You lose the version of them that lived in your heart. The imagined future. The shared inside jokes. The security. Gone. 2 days later, I got the final paperwork from my lawyer. Divorce, finalized. I stared at it for a long time, my name in print next to hers for the last time. It didn't feel triumphant. It felt clean. like wiping down a counter after a fire. The damage had already been done, but at least it wasn't spreading anymore. I signed the last document with a steady hand. Done. A few days after that, I got a DM from a name I hadn't seen in years, Emily Barnes. We dated briefly back in college. It ended amicably, mostly due to distance and timing. She was living in New York now, working in publishing. Hey Marcus, not sure if you remember me, but I saw everything and I just wanted to say I'm proud of how you handled it. Some of us always knew you were too good for her. That message hit different. Because for the first time in a long time, someone saw me. Not just the man who got cheated on. Not the heartbroken ex-husband. But Marcus. A whole person separate from the wreckage. I wrote her back. We talked for hours. About life. About work. About everything but Jessica. It felt good. It felt real. That night, I didn't think about the betrayal. I didn't think about that damn video. I didn't hear Jessica's voice echoing in my head like a bad dream. I thought about what it might be like to laugh with someone again. To trust again, not blindly, but intentionally. I wasn't ready to jump into anything. But I was ready to live. Jessica may have burned the bridge. But I built a whole new road. And I was finally walking it. The next few weeks were quiet. Jessica didn't reach out again, not directly. But I heard whispers. People I barely knew started acting different, as if I was a ghost walking around town with my own theme music. Some looked at me with pity, others with admiration. And a few? A strange sort of fear. Like they didn't know what I might say or do next. I ignored all of it. Because I wasn't part of that chapter anymore. But then I ran into Ty. It was unplanned, casual, if you could call anything like that casual. He was sitting on the patio at some bar with two guys, drinking beer and laughing like he hadn't helped destroy a marriage. When he saw me, he froze. Eyes wide. Jaw slack. That nervous twitch of his eyebrow gave him away. I could have walked. I should have. But I didn't. I walked straight up to his table and stood there. The guys with him, probably co-workers, looked back and forth like they sensed something heavy was coming. Ty slowly got to his feet. Marcus, he said. Look, Manda. Don't, I said. Calm, cold, even. He blinked. I didn't mean for things to happen the way they did. Just told me you two were basically done. Don't say her name, I snapped. He shut up. I leaned in, eyes locked on his. You disrespected me in the worst way. You came into my house. My bedroom. Slept in my bed like a damn roach crawling through food that wasn't yours. His friends were dead quiet. You're lucky I'm not a violent man, Ty. But if I ever see you near me again, near someone I care about, I won't be calm. I won't be polite. Do you understand me? He nodded like a child being scolded. Good. I turned and walked away, never looking back. I didn't need to. That little coward wouldn't even look me in the eye after that. And I felt lighter for it. That moment, the confrontation I never really wanted but needed, closed something for me. Like a door in my mind finally clicked shut. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need Jessica to suffer or Ty to grovel. I just needed to say my piece. And now I had. A few months passed. Life settled. I traveled. Booked a solo trip to Colorado, hiked through pine-covered mountains, and breathed air that didn't smell like lies and broken promises. I spent mornings drinking coffee in silence, evenings watching sunsets without thinking about who wasn't beside me. Peace isn't loud. It's quiet. Underrated. Gentle. I started writing again, something I hadn't done in years. Just short journal entries, reflections, poems. Some angry, some soft. Some about her, some not at all. Emily and I kept in touch. Not serious. Not romantic. Just easy. It felt good to have a woman in my life who didn't manipulate every conversation. Who didn't twist my words into weapons. Who could laugh without that fake edge in her voice. Maybe there'd be more someday. Maybe not. But for now, I was content just being me. The final nail in the coffin came unexpectedly. I was scrolling through Facebook, something I rarely did anymore, when I saw a post from Jessica. A selfie. She looked thinner. Tired. The glow in her eyes, fake as it was, had dulled. The caption? Sometimes the hardest lessons make us the strongest. Grateful for growth. Hashtag new beginnings. I didn't react. Didn't comment. Didn't feel anything. That was the real ending. Not the divorce. Not the video. Not the confrontation. The ending was when I could look at the woman who ripped my heart apart and feel nothing. No rage. No longing. No bitterness. Just absence. That's when I knew I'd healed. So if you're reading this and you're where I was, feeling like your whole world just caved in, hear me. You're not broken. You're being remade. Stronger. Wiser. Sharper. The pain you feel right now? It won't last forever. The nights you spend questioning everything? They'll pass. And one day you'll wake up, take a breath, and realize You're finally free. Not from them, but from the version of you that thought they were worth everything. Let them drown in their lies. You? You swim. And don't ever look back.